Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Variable Barricade, and we're continuing Nayuta's route in the board that I didn't know was going to exist. So anyway, yeah, now he's getting dropped off by Ichiya after he kind of rejected us, but didn't really know what he was doing because he's a fucking idiot. I mean, it's kind of funny. So anyway. Look, we're here. Just focus on what you have to do right now. Okay. I thanked him and got out of the car, right in front of the Tojo family estate. That's right, we're still in his chapter. Oh. Oh. My uncle stood in front of the gate, glowering at me. Come with me. That's all Uncle Kojiro said before walking into the residence. He must have known I made Spacey cry. I hung my head and followed him. What's this pain in my heart? Oh, poor dummy. I have got a crumb in my pocket, and that's really fucking annoying. That was it. Seriously, we could have finished this motherfucking chapter. Anyway, yeah, so. From suitor to bodyguard. All Nayuta wanted was to be my bodyguard, not my suitor. I'm hurt by this revelation, so he decides to play this event. Yos. It was all wrong. After what happened, I ran away from Nayuta and called Kasuga to come pick me up. What I really wanted to do was hide in my room and cry until morning, but Nayuta wasn't one of the suitors. I knew I wouldn't be able to rest until I questioned grandfather about this. I'm surprised to see you here this late. What's wrong? Did you miss me? I glared at the old coot for being flippant at a time like this. But if I raised my voice, he'd treat me like he always did. So I tried to maintain my composure as best I could. I need to speak with you about Nayuta Yagami. Is it true he's not one of the suitors? Finally noticed, have you? My granddaughter, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Well, you would have known if you paid closer attention to how he was acting. I was already well aware of that. Nayuta hadn't shown any clear romantic interest in me since that first proposal outside the school. I think it's funny because, like, okay, so we chose him, right? And they basically set it up like, oh yeah, no, he's not actually a suitor. He's just there to teach. What did he say? Like, you're... I forget what the grandfather, when he was talking to Nayuta, was like, she could learn this and that from you, whatever it was. And it was like, oh, okay. But, like, so he picked Nayuta, and he's like, but the weird thing is, I was just kind of like, my brain's like, so are none of them actually suitors? And, like, the whole thing is, so we realize that we're in love with Kasuga? Look, I'm trying to fucking find any way to make that possible, okay? But, like, Ichi is a little too over the top and cheesy for someone who's just auditioning to be my personal chef, if you know what I'm saying. Like, Taiga doesn't seem to give a fuck if we pick him or not, kind of like Nayuta. You know what I mean? Nayuta seemed more interested in us than Taiga did. And Shion is like, well, anybody who's just going to pay for me to have a lavish lifestyle, sure. So, like, but Ichiya, so I could almost believe if you told me, like, none of them were actually, they were suitors, whatever. Okay, could honestly believe it, except for Ichiya. How the hell are you going to spin that one? That he just talks to everyone like that? I don't know. Anyway. He doesn't want me. All he wants is his ideal master. All his talk about love at first sight and fate were just about his master. I was the fool for getting so excited. But how could he not see how cruel that is? The hand that I'd slapped Nayuta with started aching again. Like it wanted to remind me how absurd this whole situation was. I mean, right though? Kasuga, were you aware of this as well? Kasuga. He's like, I want you to love me. I do love you, though. The game just won't let me pick you. I don't understand. Yes. I guess I'm just an idiot. Kasuga, how could you hurt me like this? Kasuga's over there like, none of them are. You're supposed to love... Hey! Listen. I'm with you, bro. I hate that the game won't let me choose you right off the bat. Because we'd go down that route and be like, we don't need to play the rest of the game. I'm happy. This is the only route I want. Like, I'm kind of... Look, if we get to marry Kasuga, I'm just saying, if I get that, I'm kind of glad it doesn't let you do that in the beginning, because I would have done that first and been like, I don't need to play the rest of the game. And like, I want to play the rest of the game because I really enjoy this game, but like, Kasuga's my end goal. Like, there's nothing worse when you play your favorite route and you're like, this is the character I love. And they're like, that's the first one you should play. And you're like, no, but I don't. It's like the rest of the game isn't going to be the same. Like the other routes might be great, but it's not my favorite character. You know, when there's like a route order. So like, you can't let me have Kasuga first and then make me date the rest of these chuckle fucks. Like I got to date them first, enjoy it thoroughly, and then get the perfect boy at the end. The game's not going to give me Kasuga, is it? It's just not. All my hopes and dreams will be crushed by this game. Thanks, game. Anyway. As I muttered to myself, Kasuga looked at me with a conflicted expression. Right? Because he's like, no, yeah, because you're supposed to be in love with me, stupid. Right? I get it. I apologize, miss. To be honest, I've been completely careless. I presume there was almost no chance you would choose Mr. Yagami. What do you mean? I mean, he's over there like, I mean, the man's an idiot. Yeah. Mr. Yagami is somewhat of a problem magnet, you could say. I thought you'd view him as a kind of high-maintenance pet, or, at worst, a brother. Shouldn't those two things be flipped around? And personally, I was against this whole setup. He is, for better or worse, too honest with himself. And for that reason, he was disowned by the Yagami family. Disowned? Yes. Now listen carefully. In the past, Mr. Yagami... That was the reason he was disowned. What Kasuga told me about Nayuta's past left me speechless. About the Yagami family and about his first assignment. How he abandoned his duties and gave up on his client. All because the guy wasn't his ideal master. I can't believe he did that. I couldn't imagine his usual innocent self acting that way. But... he's basically obedient, naive, and seems like he'd be easy to deal with, but he might be more selfish and choosy than anyone else. See, you know, Taiga wasn't wrong, huh? I caught glimpses of it throughout our time together. That's why he was so obsessed with the person he wanted to spend the rest of his life protecting. I really didn't know the first thing about Nayuta. I didn't even try to get to know him. I just fell in love arbitrarily. This game is kind of freaking mean to her, isn't it? It's like, you have to pick one of these chuckle fucks to fall in love with. I just like saying chuckle fucks. It's just fun now. You know, you have to fall in love with one of these assholes. But I don't want it. Well, you have to. Okay, I think I love this one. Well, God, I mean, I guess you should have tried to get to know him before you fell in love with him. What were you doing? You told me to. Oh my God. Oh, this poor girl's been fighting this whole time. And the time she finally was like, fine, I'll let go and I'll trust someone. And it's like, oh, never mind. Oh, did you take me seriously? Whoops. Jesus. I felt so ashamed of how shallow I'd been. I was about to hang my head when... You're here, eh? Come in. Pardon the interruption. Kojiro? And the next person to show up was... Nayuta? What's he doing here? I'd essentially just been dumped. So naturally I hadn't sorted out my feelings, nor had I prepared myself to face him. Well, he doesn't know that he dumped you, though, so I mean, like, that's kind of good, I guess. My body apparently couldn't keep up with this roller coaster of emotion, so I remained frozen. Nayuta stepped out from behind Kojiro. He looked at me carefully and said, I'm very sorry, Spacey. He bowed his head in apology. What? Has he finally realized how I feel? No. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to deceive you. All I could think about was getting you to choose me, and nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered? And since you let me be your bodyguard recently, I've been doing so well, I forgot that I was a potential groom. He forgot? The reason you were so upset was because I deceived you, right, Spacey? My uncle got mega angry at me, and I finally figured it out. I'm really, truly sorry. She didn't actually really. I mean, yeah, that's part of the problem, but that's like 5% of it. She's just like, huh? No, that's not why. ... I kind of feel like we should say no, that's not why, instead of just staring at him dumbfounded. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, now we're at a club. That's interesting. Before, a romance thing was like a sword. Oh, wait a minute. So, like, in the first up our differences, right? Our fences. Club him. We've club, and now that's our weapon. We're gonna battle. Funny. If the Barricade battle now was, that'd be funny. But like, it's just that's weird. No, that's not why. Any remaining hope I had, I was overcome and fair. Why? Various emotions welled up inside, but I pushed them down. Yes, he had to see. But that wasn't why. That wasn't the reason I cried. Why doesn't he understand? Nayuta was convinced to my feelings for... Poor Kasuga. He's like... Hey, Kasuga, I did. Both grandfather looked displeased. You're not gonna forgive me, even though I apologize. I really wanted to be your bodyguard. Yeah, I know what I did was wrong. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. I was like, I know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. I'll never lie to you again. Please? Please let me stay with you as your bodyguard. No. Bodyguard was beside the point. What I really wanted was a groom. But there was no way I could say that out loud. I was so excited when I thought that Nayuta had feelings for me too. But apparently when I admitted my feelings to him, I had completely misunderstood. It was all in my head. Yeah, ain't that the course of life? You're like, or your friends are like, oh my god, no, he's totally into you. He's not. He's not. Don't listen to your friends. Okay. My friend was always like that. I'm like, oh my god, I have a crush on this person. Oh my god, he's totally into you too. I mean, he like looked at you in gym class. Looked at me in gym class because I fell on my face because I'm a fat, lazy butt face and I can't do exercise. Okay? That's why. You know? But... I mean, it's nice when your friends are like, oh my god, supportive of your dreams. But not when they're like fucking idiots. I know. I just know. I'm so good at people. I know. You know what? You were always fucking wrong. Always wrong. I'm just saying. Listen. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your friends. Only trust that person when they're like, I am actually into you. Okay. I trust you. You know you. Great. Okay, we're good. Otherwise, just don't. It's always just in your head until they say otherwise, you know. There's no way I can admit that now. Even if I had told him again how I felt, the outcome would be obvious since he had no interest whatsoever. In that case, I'd rather say... Well, I mean... From suitor to bodyguard, yeah. So it's like, we're going to accept him as our bodyguard, and then he's going to bodyguard us, and we're just going to... And then he's going to fall in love with us. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like the way they did this. You're like, we're getting our good ending. No, we're not. Oh, what just happened? What? Oh, there's a whole other... And now he's gonna... Okay. All right. But I'm curious how that's gonna work in everybody else's route. You know what I mean? Because, like, Ichigo's, like, really fucking all over your shit. So, like... You know? How are you gonna... As soon as we're like, yeah, I pick you. Okay. Like, I don't... We're gonna get a third board out of him. Curious. Anyway, don't tell me. Obviously. Yes, that's right. You hurt me. Being lied to and deceived like that, it really, really hurt. There's no way I can trust someone like that. I wanted to pretend like none of this ever happened. But Spacey, I'm so sorry. That's enough. Foolish granddaughter, calm down. Kasuga's already told me these details. But you can't change the fact that you chose him. Well, in other words, Nayuta more than satisfied all the conditions I set. Isn't that right? Master, you don't mean... Nayuta. Yes? You've proven you can be trusted. As promised, I appoint you to be my foolish granddaughter's bodyguard. He's like, we're like, no, I don't want Nayuta anywhere near us. And he's like, fuck that. I don't care what she says. You're her bodyguard. And then he's like, eventually he's going to realize that he's in love with her and everything will be fine. And he's over there like, I mean, it'll be fine, I guess. But like, the whole point was for you to fall in love with Kasuga. If grandfather was a smart man, he would have been like, hi, your butler's perfect. The man knows everything about you. He even dresses you, for fuck's sake. Like, he picks out your clothes. That man knows everything. Like, that man can pick out your clothes, make you look good, and he's not gay. I'm just saying. Is he? I mean, I'm just saying, Kasuga's beyond perfect. There isn't. Oh, God, he's a figment of our imagination. He doesn't exist, does he? Oh, damn it. Have I mentioned that I love Kasuga? Oh, good God, why? You think he might be my actual, like, look, you have favorites in every game, but he might be my all-time favorite. Because I don't think I have loved any character this hard. I mean, maybe Van Helsing back in Code Realized days, and that was, like, really, like, that's the game that I usually compare every other game to. That's, like, up on the top of, like, you know, even though we played Amnesia Memories first, I was like, okay, like, I didn't, and when I was playing Amnesia Memories, like, I'm just gonna play this game, because, like, I guess it'll be fun. I wasn't like, I love these games! You know what I mean? I hadn't fully accepted that yet in myself. I was still like, no. Ugh. But it was a good game, and we had fun. Okay? But I don't think I loved it, even though I loved Kent. He was my first Otome boyfriend, for realsies, you know. But, like, I don't think I loved anyone. It wasn't until we played Code Realize that I was like, oh my god, I love Van Helsing. But, like, I'm sorry, Kasuga might have just knocked you off your fucking pedestal of perfect. I just, you're gonna be up there. You can hang on. And, like, but, like, Kasuga is, like, top of that fucking pile, because he's just, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Anyway. Hold on. Grandfather, I cannot agree to this. Oh, really? So you'd rather I suffer the indignity of going back on my word and deceiving this honest young man? Yes. That's not what I mean. Then what do you mean? Would you rather keep him around as an actual candidate? I couldn't say anything back. Grandfather took one look at me and sneered. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. That's why I want you to take good care of my foolish granddaughter, Nayuta. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Tojo. I'm going to do everything I can to regain your trust, Spacey. It was decided. Didn't matter what I thought, because grandfather knows that you chose him to be your husband, and, like, whatever, and he's... Well, one, he's like, oh, hi, I would look like an asshole if I told him he, you know, could be your bodyguard if you chose him, and you chose him, and then that would just be weird. But also, I think it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you're, like, in love with him, and then he's going to be around you, and then maybe he'll fall in love with you, and it'll be okay, like... He's doing it in a douchey kind of way, because, like, when you've just been rejected, the last thing you want is the person who rejected you around you all the fucking time. But, you know, Kasuga deals with it. He has to watch us fall in love with 4 different men, and he's just like, this is cold. This is awful. Right? It's okay. Oh, now I'm just thinking of Kasuga sitting at that cafe with the frickin' sweater around his shoulders. Stop it. Miss Spacey, are you alright with this? As long as you hold me, Kasuga, I can be fine with anything. Doesn't matter, does it? It's not like I can go against grandfather's orders. And just like that, Nayuta went from my potential groom to my official bodyguard. He gets to live in the house still. Ooh, now which one do we do? Ooh, wrong end. Back to square one. It is wrong end. Bird, stop. You had the option to come up here. You didn't want to. You has to sit there and be quiet. No screamings. The day after what happened at the family estate, as soon as I got back home from whoops. The day after what happened at the family estate, as soon as I got back home from taking Spacey to school, the guy seized me. And they dragged me straight to the living room from the entryway? It made me explain what went down at the family estate in addition to what I had told Ichiya. You really screwed up. Definitely. Irredeemably. Okay, guys, I get it. You could have sugarcoated it a little, you know? Oh, no. I'm not gonna pull any punches. I feel like I could say it another 100 times. Same, bro. Same. So, Nayuta, the lady didn't end up forgiving you, did she? No, I haven't been able to talk to her at all. Well, looking at it from her side, she probably doesn't really want to see you, you know. Yeah, you're right. Because I tricked her. He still doesn't get it. They're all like, God, you're an idiot. And he's like, I know. She's mad at I know. You know why, right? Yeah, I tricked her. Oh my God, you idiot. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go apologize to her one more time. And I'll get down on my knees and beg her, do whatever it takes. Nayuta, stay. Let's take a moment to think before we act, okay? Yeah, aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? The reason why the lady was crying. Dude, do you seriously not get it? Oh, well, it's because I lied to her, right? She was betrayed by someone she trusts. Wait, you guys think there's another reason? Guys, you gotta tell me if you know why. Took him this fucking long. They're all like... I love how stupid he is. It's just... Oh, honey. Damn, y'all. Looks like he seriously doesn't get it. He cannot be this thick-headed. I'll bet he was so happy to be your bodyguard that the idea of being her groom didn't even cross his mind. I told him he needs to figure it out for himself, but at this rate, it'll be decades before he does. We'll be married to Ichiya at that point. We'll have 2 kids, and all of a sudden Nayuta will be like, oh my God, you were trying to tell me you wanted me to be your husband? Yeah, Nayuta, it's a little fucking late. A little fucking late. At our funeral, when we're like 80 years from now, he'll be like, oh. Okay, Nayuta, we'll give you a hint. It's true she was angry because you lied to her, right? So why was the lie so shocking to her? Do you know? Oh my God, you're at- No, guys, seriously, no, you gotta go easier. This is too complicated. What? Oh, he's struggling so hard. Look at his little sprite. He's trying so hard, his brain's gonna pop, guys. Yeah, we're getting nowhere. Are you seriously thinking that hard? Oh, come on, guys! I can't figure it out no matter how hard I try! Little sad idiot face! It's like his normal sad face, but knowing how stupid he is now, he's trying so hard and that little hamster can't manage to get that wheel going. It's just so cute. Like, no! I love you, you dumb piece of cheese! Oh. Like, cheese is smarter than this man. Like... Alright, Nayuta. Oh, what do you yourself think? Like, how do you think things are currently? I'm great. My lifelong dream has finally come true. It's really hard not having Spacey support, but I'm totally gonna gain her trust. He's giving me a headache. I feel like this is just gonna get worse. As his competitors, should we just take our chance and be happy about it? You'd be pretty pathetic if this makes you happy, Ichiya. Ichiya's like... Pretend I'm not pathetic, or just totally embrace it. Guys, why are you whispering so much? Can't you just tell me what the right answer is? We're going to come back to the answer later. In the meantime, you should sit down and have a talk with her. I don't really get it, but okay. I do like things being like this between me and... Oh, I don't like things being like this between me and Spacey, so... Huh, that's right. Ichiya, Taiga, Shion. In the end, she's gonna have to choose a potential groom from among you guys. So whoever gets chosen, please make sure you make Spacey really happy. She's my dear master after all. Wow, he totally is the point. But he can't seem to fucking put it in. Like... It's like he's got a round peg and a round hole, and he's like, huh, cool. I got a hole and I got a peg. Neat. You know, like those little kids' toys where you're like trying to teach your kids shapes and they put the star in the star hole. But he's got the two pieces. He just doesn't. He's like, neat, I got two toys. Cool. He just doesn't know how to fucking put them together. I got you a basketball hoop and a ball. And he's like, cool, I can play basketball. Like, I can bounce the ball. You can also throw the ball in the hoop. What? No, wait, like, he can't figure. Jesus. Oh, God. You've really got the wrong end of the stick. He is that dog who, literally, the stick thing, he's got the stick in his mouth and he just jams and he can't figure out how to get through the doorway because the stick's too big for the door and he's just bashing off the door. God, he's so dumb. I love it. It's so funny. Back to square one. I put on a brave face as I tell Tsumugi and Arimura about what happened with Nayuta. You know Noah's gonna be like, are you sure you want to marry this man? He's kind of fucking stupid. How come Tsumugi is all orange? That is so weird. They kind of fucked that up. He wasn't a suitor? It had been 1 day since the incident. Tsumugi and Arimura took me to the cafe to hear how the date went, and I told them everything. You went through all that trouble for nothing. I hate to say I told you so, but it's like I said, a movie is just a movie. But you ignored it and charged full speed ahead. I swear, even little kids have more self-control. Yeah, Tsumugi's whole name is always What is going on here? This is exactly what it meant to be at a loss for words. Arimura had put it perfectly. Arimura's right. I'm sorry, Spacey. I got swept away and made it all worse. No, it's okay, Tsumugi. I was getting excited and making plans right alongside you. I let you and your frickin' Otome addictions! Whoops. Well, what are you going to do about it? After all, the dog dropped you like a hot potato, didn't he? There's nothing to be done. After we finish here, there'll be nothing more to say. He'll no longer be a suitor and become my formal bodyguard instead. That's that. What? Now wait just a minute here! Nayuta might not feel the same, but you still had feelings for him, right, Spacey? So then you can't give up so easily. Tsumugi, it's fine. I'm sure I was mistaken about my feelings. I got carried away thinking about the movie and mistook it for love. That's all. I love how she's saying shit like this because that's exactly what you tell yourself. You're like, I was totally wrong. It wasn't really. I'm fine. I'm totally fine as you're crying, eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's. The tears, I like the salt and the sweet together, okay? Like, after eating sugar, sometimes I need lots of salt, and my tears is just like, it's balancing, all right? I'm balancing. Yes, just think of it like that. But, no, Tsumugi, there's no point in saying anything right now. She needs time to cool off. Like, that's what you want, right? Yes, I need to separate him from the others in my mind or else I won't be able to move on. It sounds more like grinning and bearing it to me. But it's your decision. I won't interfere. Both of them saw right through my confused emotions, but I pretended everything was fine nonetheless. I mean, it's kind of like me. I have to pretend that I'm okay that we don't get to marry Kasuga. But I'm not. In case you didn't know that, I am not okay. I really love Kasuga. I know I don't mention it enough. I've only mentioned it like 6 times in the 30 minutes we've been on this part, but that's what you're here for, right? Anyway. Well then, time to get back in the ring. Since Nayuta's no longer a candidate, I'll have to choose from the remaining 3 boys. Can I still count on you 2 for help? This is where you're like, okay, at this point after having my heart broken and everything, Ichiya, just go straight for Ichiya, okay? Because at least you know he's obsessed with you. So, like, I feel like you go from the guy who has no interest in you whatsoever to the one who just can't fucking stop the cheese fest. Just straight in. Straight in. Okay? Just a complete opposite. Oh. Sure, whatevs. I knew it wasn't the nicest question, but I couldn't afford to stop moving forward. Yes, this is right. It'll be like nothing ever happened. The prospective groom, Nayuta Yagami, never even existed. Okay, I mean, these chapters are going pretty fucking fast. Desperately seeking dates, which I'm assuming is this one. Yep. Desperately seeking dates. Hoping to crack through Nayuta's oblivious exterior, the others decide to ask me out on dates. Oh, I bet these are dates with each one of them. Yeah. The sky overhead was so bright that it hurt my eyes. Bright. The polar opposite of my mood. Me, every fucking day. Ever since that day, I felt depressed every morning. And then I'm like, sometimes I just want a nice thunderstorm. And then the thunderstorms roll in here, and I'm like, we're gonna die. I don't like this. Because, like, I love thunderstorms, but, like, here, where I live now, it's like a wind tunnel, and it's so terrifying. Like, you're like, oh, it's a little cloudy out. It might rain later. And then you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, the little stick tree in front of your house is, like, bent over sideways, and you're like, where did all that wind come from? And then your garage door is slamming, and, oh, the wind's whipping there, and you're like, I live on a haunted moorland or something. I don't know what's happening. And it's like, it's kind of funny. I don't mind the howling winds. It's oddly charming. You're like, yes, there's my Scottish moors in the backyard. Like, oh, whatever. But, like, when it gets dark and the trees start bending over, you're like, there's only, like, 4 trees around here, so we cannot break them. And, like, but the wind is so crazy, you're like, I'm afraid I'm gonna die now. Like, and they come in fucking fast lately. Especially because it's, like, fucking 100 degrees. It's got awful, but... Like, you're like, oh, it's cloudy. And the next thing you're like, why is it the apocalypse out there? What the fuck happened? And then you look at your weather app and it's like, severe thunderstorms. And you're like, okay. Stay away from windows. Hail, wind damage. And it's like, we're gonna die. Like, what the hell is happening? I went from the epicenter of no weather, where all the weather went around me, to, like, moving into, like, fucking wind central. Like, I don't know. It's fucking weird. I like thunderstorms, but... the wind scares me a lot, because I'm like, no, I live in the South, man. Lots of wind ain't good, because, like, they get a and then you get a tornado, and I don't need any of that shit. I can't, no. I'm old. Remember when you were a kid and thunderstorms were fun, and, like, hurricanes would happen, and you had no thought process about it at all? You know what I mean? You didn't think about it, and I was an adult. You're like, oh, God, I know I don't own this place, but if something happened, and then the roof, and then there's leaking, and then if my stuff got destroyed, oh, and my insurance, and, like, oh, my hips hurt, my knee hurts, and you're just old. You come here for this random fucking shit where we start on one tangent and we just completely fucking go off the rails, right? Anyway. Please take care, Miss Spacey. I'll pick you up after school. Thanks. Nayuta opened the car door. Being careful to avoid making eye contact, I got out in front of the school gates. As usual, the students were milling about and talking loudly. Look, it's Miss Tojo! Ooh, her bodyguard's with her again today. He certainly is. He looks like someone straight out of a fairy tale. Must be wonderful to have someone like that guarding you. Have you seen my butler, though? I mean, yeah, but, like, we laid the smack down one time and everybody was like, don't ever talk about her bodyguard. I mean, her freaking butler. Yes, well, it might look like that to people who have no idea what's going on. Nayuta did look gallant and reliable when he was in work mode. But he just dumped me, which I definitely couldn't say. Trying hard to keep a smile on my face, I hurried into the school building. He doesn't know he dumped you, though. That's the funny part. He dumped me. He didn't, though. Since then, though Nayuta went from being a suitor to my bodyguard, there was no change in his daily routine. Least of all his attitude. From the time he woke up through breakfast, he was his usual innocent self. On the way to school and back, he switched into work mode and did his job well. And when he came home, he was back to being himself. He didn't seem to be upset at all that he wasn't a candidate anymore. Because he never thought of himself as one. You know what I mean? And it's just so funny because he's so clueless. But it's kind of like if think of it in his perspective, right? So you're like, I want to be your bodyguard. And her grandfather's like, all right, fine. I'm going to put you in this house. She's picking a suitor. You're going to live there with 3 other guys. And then, like, if she chooses you to be her bodyguard, you can be her bodyguard. Nayuta had no clue. It wasn't like, so she's going to think you're here there to date her, but you're really just there to get a job? Like, he had no clue. He was like, yeah, I'm here for a job interview, basically. Like, and he was just like, I want to protect you. I want to protect you. And she's like, this is weird that you're trying to marry me like that. And he had no clue. No clue, because he's not the brightest crayon in the box. Like, anyone else, if, like, Ichiya, I feel like, if was in this, like, I would like to be your bodyguard, he'd be like, I feel like maybe we're not I'm here just to be your bodyguard. You think I'm one of your suitors? Wait, like, you know. Unless he's here to be my personal chef, and then that's why he's laying on the cheese, to show how cheesy he is, because he's just cheese. I don't know. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he seems really interested in us. Then they all have that, like, you grooms picking a groom, like, so they seem to know what's going on. So I'm gonna guess that it's not like the same situation in all the other routes, right? But, like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they have you do this one first, because you're like, I like the little flip twist weirdness here. What are you going to do in the other ones to justify an extra board, this 3rd board? You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to do that? Unless we don't fall in love with the other suitor that fast. You know what I mean? Like, as it came in this one. So, it's weird. I just feel like they usually follow a common pattern. Like, okay, you go, and then you're, like, in this, okay, we're deciding maybe we're interested in him, so we have to do this weird misunderstandings. We set up this ruse of running away from him to test his love, and then we confess to him, and then all of a sudden he wasn't here for that because he had no clue, and now there's this other huge misunderstanding, and then eventually he'll fall in love with us and everything will be good. But you can't do that with the other ones because they know what they're here for. So I'm like, a little confusing. Anyway. But, yeah. So, like, if he knew, if he was smart enough, or if our grandfather had been like, oh, she's going to think you're one of her suitors, by the way, then he might have been able to put the pieces together, but he was just like, I came here for a job audition, and I got the job, and now you're mad, because I didn't tell you I was here for a job. But, like, he still can't figure out she thought he hasn't quite put those pieces. Oh, well. Oh, God. Anyway, well, of course he's not. He's not interested in me like that. I sighed deeply as I gathered up my notebooks. Spacey, are you okay? I'm not okay. Is it about Nayuta? No, well, sort of. It's more like a different problem. A different problem? So you know how I decided to think of Nayuta as separate from the other boys, and how since then I've been totally grumpy with him? Kind of tired of acting like that. Ah, I see. Of course, I still had some thoughts about how unperceptive Nayuta was, but there was no way I could continue on in this way. I wonder if we can't at least have a decent conversation. Yeah, and you don't want the awkwardness to start affecting the others. If only something would make him realize what happened. Yeah. If there was something like that, would I be able to hang out with him like normal again? I couldn't concentrate at all on my classes, and they all went by in a blur. After school let out, Nayuta picked me up again. Then later, we all ate dinner, which Ichiya had prepared with more enthusiasm than usual. Well then, I think it's time I resume my pursuit of you, Spacey. What? Shion cut in without warning during our after-dinner tea. That's right. What's so surprising? You know, I think it's rather unusual that you've been quiet until now. Yeah, babe, you've been grumping around lately, so we've all just been playing the waiting game. Yeah, about that. I'm honestly sorry. In a way, it was just as Samugi predicted. At the very least, my attitude had disrupted the lives of these 3 boys. I wonder, though, if they weren't going to keep pursuing me, would it have been better for me to continue my own pursuit of Nayuta? For a moment I thought maybe so, but then was sure all the aggravation would lead to exhaustion. It was certainly a bad idea. So, Spacey, didn't you think today's supper and after-dinner tea were even more delicious than usual? I made it to express my loneliness. No, to express my heartbreak without you near me. That's why, you see, there's no way he's not here for me. I mean, like, everything he fucking says is cheesy as shit. Bro, you are such a killjoy. My ass just gets tired listening to you. Hey, babe, why don't you lose the zeros and get with the hero, huh? A chill and fun relationship is way better, you know? I don't know about that. I think someone like me might be more your style. Don't you agree, Spacey? Wait just a minute. We can't just go back to the way things were all of a sudden. Huh. I noticed that while they were hitting on me, their eyes were glancing at someone else. They were looking at Nayuta, who was cocking his head to the side curiously. They're all like, I'm going to relentlessly pursue you, Spacey, as I glance over at Nayuta. Like, is he getting it? Like, they're actually trying to help him. Could you imagine, though, if we route jumped and we're dating frickin' Ichiya? And we're like, I mean, like, we've been going out trying to get Nayuta to realize that, like, I had feelings for him and he's supposed to be in love with me, but he's totally in bodyguard mode. And, like, these dates have been really fun. Yeah. So we're just gonna get married now? Okay, cool. Just, like, accidentally in love with one of the other boys now. Oops. Then these three are... There was no doubt about it. They weren't serious. They were hitting on me to see Nayuta's reaction. That means they know how I feel. I wanted to crawl under the table and die. Oh my god, can't they mind their own business? I've already taken care of it. He's totally separate from the rest of them. This is getting us nowhere. I know. Hey, Nayuta, which one of us would make a good partner for Spacey? Huh? You're asking me? Let's see. God, he's so stupid. I think we need to consider Spacey's feelings first. And I don't think it's a good idea to go ahead without hearing what she has to say, right? No, not right! You're focusing on the wrong thing! Nayuta smiled innocently at me and I said, they're all out of the question. I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. I want to have them all. I've already set this up perfectly. We got our bodyguard that we're banging. We've got our... Well, okay, Shion would actually have to be our husband, though. Because, like, you know, he's arm candy. So this is my beautiful piece of artwork husband. Isn't he glorious? Would you like to stroke him? Yes, okay, you can touch him. He's very nice and pretty. Not too tight. No, don't touch him too much. Don't damage his precious skin. Okay, fine. Look, you touch him with your eyes. Caress him with your eyes. You know, and then, you know, you've got your bodyguard over there that you're banging on the side, and then you've got your personal chef that you're banging on the side, and then you've got your freaking chauffeur, like, car mechanic guy that you're banging on the side, and then you've got your butler who's your one true love. But, you know, yeah, you know. I mean, like, this is the perfect man-harem setup! I'm just saying. So, like, I don't want to choose because I think we should just get them all. I just think that's the perfect end route, you know? They've all got jobs here, and servicing me is one of those jobs. I'm not sorry. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to choose. Good job. Great. Oh, now it's a hatchet. Oh, we are just changing the weapons each time. I don't know what's happening. I don't want to choose. I deliberately turned away with a crossed expression. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Nayuta look troubled. Come on, you can't say that. Now let's just think this through. Everyone here's a good guy. Each one of them has tons of good qualities, right? Actually, any one of them... Nayuta! Knock it off. Just leave it. And maybe asking that question wasn't the best idea. Nayuta looked surprised when he heard them say those things. He took a step closer to me. I'm sorry. I guess it's kind of embarrassing to have to answer in front of everyone, right? You could just tell me. Oh, maybe you could, like, write it down or something. Can you read, though? I'm not sure you can read. Ugh. Something snapped inside me at that moment. I told you I don't want to choose anyone! Oh, okay. I must have been giving off some pretty threatening vibes because Nayuta stared at me wide-eyed, frozen in place. But immediately after, a look flashed across his face as if he'd just gotten an idea. Oh, I know! You probably should spend more time thinking about it! Marriage is a lifelong commitment, after all. Sure is. I really should have been commended for not banging my head against the table. I thought she was going to say banging his head. Oh, I read that. The other three boys looked completely deflated because of Nayuta's enthusiastic support of them. But maybe this is a good thing. I found that I could still talk to Nayuta normally, though not as much as before. The callous way he presented the other candidates might have been his way of saying he gave up. You know what? You're right, Nayuta. I should certainly get to know them better before deciding. What a great idea. Babe. I ignored Taiga. I've decided that I'm taking each one of you on a date. They're all like, what? My declaration echoed throughout the dining room. Wow, that's a great idea. It's like a follow-up from when you interviewed them. Like a field trial, right? You were also in that My God, he's so dumb. And of course, I'll be going on the dates too. I'm your bodyguard after all. Oh yes, you'll be there all right. All they could do was chuckle softly. So that's when you talk to like freaking Shion or each one separately. Like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna guess we just go from the top down. Yes, these are our dates. Who are we? Ooh, what just happened? Who are we going? We're going with Ichiya, then Taiga, then Shion. I'm gonna guess, since I usually go. Ichiya's date. Ichiya takes me on a drive date. He builds a romantic atmosphere, trying to gauge Nayuta's reaction. How lovely! The sky outside the car window was crystal blue, and in the distance, the ocean glittered in the sun. It was a stunning view. I could feel it cheering up my gloomy mood. This is amazing! Ichiya, darling, did you find this scenic route on your own? Oh my God, we were putting on the cheese! So funny. Yeah, I did. I wanted to make you happy, so I looked extra hard to find it. But if it weren't for the clear skies, we wouldn't be able to see as much as we can. I'm so thankful for this weather. I'm sure for today's date, the heavens are... they're smiling down on us, you know? Yes, indeed. Ichiya's signature pickup lines were fizzling out because of an overbearing presence in the back seat. We were on a date, and the bodyguard was with us. Like, Nayuta almost looks crazy right now, like, bro, if you don't fucking stop with those pickup lines. Mr. Mitsumori, if something wrong, if you're concerned about me, please just pretend I'm not here. Don't be ridiculous. Without a doubt, Ichiya and I had the same thought in our minds. No, I just couldn't help noticing you were looking at me. Is there something you wanted to say? Yes? Well, I dare say you should be careful while driving. You seem to be distracted just now. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'll be careful. I wouldn't want to damage this precious jewel next to me. Strokes my face! Before the date today, Ichiya had spoken with me in secret. That's what I thought. Spacey, are you really sure about this? Yep, totally. I've got to choose a groom at some point, after all. Ichiya gave me a troubled smile as if he'd picked up on how I was feeling. Okay, you can count on me. You know, and then, but could you imagine, though, like, even if you did, like, say Nayuta never picked up on your feelings and then you're dating the other guys and then all of a sudden you do find, you're like, you know, Ichiya, we've been going out trying to get Nayuta to realize that he is jealous and wants me, and because I was in love with him, and he never picked up on it, and, you know, we've been doing this for a while now, and, like, yeah, but, like, so, okay, we're gonna get married now, but do you think Ichiya would be like, do you still have feelings for him? Because, like, I mean, he's still around every day. He's our bodyguard. So, like, did your feelings totally go away? Like, you know what I mean? At some point, your feelings would just go away because you're like, they're not reciprocated. So eventually you just kind of pine them out, right? And if you were like, oh, I'm going to try to make him jealous with Ichiya and everybody else. And then eventually you're like, he's not picking up on it. And you know, it's just, at some point you just have to close the door completely. But like, I feel like if you were Ichiya, you'd be like, yeah, but like, should I be worried that one day he's gonna wake up and she's gonna be like, okay, and then she's gonna be banging her bodyguard? Like, I mean, again, that's the whole plot that I want. That's my man harem route. But like, Ichi would totally know because he'd be at my personal shop. But I'm just saying, you know, like they would each be like, I mean, look, sure, I'll be your groom, but like, you're in love with your bodyguard, and that's weird. And you're like, well, did you know that I've actually secretly really in love with my butler? Have I mentioned that? Like, always. Butler will always be number one. Anyway. Okay, you can count on me. What? Let's intentionally create a romantic atmosphere and see how Nayuta reacts. And if you fall in love with me in the process, I won't complain. It's Ichiya, he probably wouldn't give a fuck. What am I talking about? Maybe it'll set off something in him and he'll figure it out. Plus, I don't think Ichiya could not be romantic if he tried. Ichiya's the one who suggested this, but now he's chickening out? That meant it was up to me. You know, Ichiya, darling, since we're so nearby, I'd really love to see the ocean up close. We could take off our shoes and hold hands on the beach. Scandalous! For some reason, Ichiya's face twitched when I spoke to him in a lovey-dovey way. 'Cause he's like, I love this, but it's fake. Poor Ichiya. Oh, yeah. Well, then, how about we go down to Enoshima? And when we get there, I want to spend some time together. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. I'm all for it, but... Up until this point, Nayuta had been literally holding his breath, but now he reacted. Mr. Mitsumori and Miss Spacey alone together on the coast? That's right, and considering the season, we could at least get our feet wet. What do you think, Nayuta? Ichiya, darling, why are you suddenly asking the bodyguard's opinion? I gave him an intimidating smile, knowing full well I was taking my anger out on him. This was supposed to be our date, you know? What? Oh, no. Yeah, of course, but... No way! I won't allow it! The moment we stopped at a red light, Ichiya and I looked back at Nayuta, who had suddenly returned to his normal self. I'm sorry for interrupting your date, but... Yes? Despite the open visibility, the coast is a dangerous place with concrete breakwaters and tetrapods to hide behind. Tetrapods? Okay. If the two of you went for a walk there alone, even I wouldn't be able to protect you. Huh? We could need more bodyguards to at least patrol the perimeter. I can contact the Yagami family and see if they can help. Ichiya, let's just forget the ocean. Yeah, good idea. How about we go somewhere with a good view instead? Ichiya's concern felt painful. Like, how about we walk on the beach and you just walk 20 feet behind us? I was still in shock after getting my hopes up, only to have them dashed. The date ended in somber silence as if we were at a funeral. Date result, failure! Of course it was a failure, because we're not supposed to win this date. We can go on our next one, which is Taiga's, I think. Taiga's date. Like a mischievous older brother, Taiga decides to get close to me to try to make Nayuta jealous. I was going on a date with all the boys so that I could choose my groom all over again. I was fully aware this was not my best plan, but now that I had set it in motion, I couldn't get out of doing it. Taiga said, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of everything." But I don't know. I wonder what he's thinking. Huh? Oh, check it out, babe. There's something going on in this building over there. Really? I wonder what's going on. Judging from that sign there, it looks like a listening party for some singer's new album. Seems like she's gonna debut a new song, too. I think this is the first time I've come across an event like this. Ha! You interested? How's about we have a look? I am opposed to places with too many people. If you wish to spectate, please take a seat at the very back. Dude, you scared the shit out of me! I apologize, but it is a matter of personal safety. Personal safety? It's just a regular event. Hey, Nayuta, this here's my date with the lady. Got it? Yes, of course. I'm here to advise the two of you on safety matters as long as I do not interfere. Yeah, well, as long as you got it. Ready to go, babe? Okay. Link arms. Somebody hold my hand. Though the singer had just debuted, I found her voice very soothing. Afterward, we still had some time left, so we decided to get a little shopping in. We looked around in some accessory shops, all under Nayuta's watchful eye, of course. Well, we should have... Okay, you're going to have to, like, try to hold my hand to get touchy and, like, oh, let me put that accessory in your hair, Spacey. Brush your hair to your face. Yeah, I'll have to get a little touchy, a little personal to make him be like, don't touch her like that. You know what I mean? We're just, like, hanging out with bros. He's not gonna, you know? Then once we got tired of walking, we decided to stop by a nearby cafe for a break. Maybe I'll buy that singer's album sometime. Yeah, she was pretty good. You like that kind of music, don't you? I realized that by doing all this stuff, I just had a relaxing, normal day without intending to. I'm gonna try something here. What? It's cool. I got it. Nayuta's looking at us, right? Nayuta was watching us from several seats away. He was the same as ever when on guard duty. After confirming that he was in fact looking, Taiga deliberately spoke louder than usual. So anyway, babe, how about you show me that necklace you just bought, eh? Huh? You mean this? I took out a paper bag from my purse that had a necklace inside it. It had caught my eye when we were shopping, so I bought it on a whim. Sorry, let me borrow it a sec. Hey! Taiga snatched the paper bag from me and took out the necklace. Then he undid the clasp and... You ought to wear it since you just bought it. Here, I'll put it on for you. Hey, you're getting a little close. That's the point of the date, ain't it? To get closer? Just chill and let me do it. Mr. Isarugi, that is enough. Nayuta? Oh? What is it, Nayuta? Is what I'm doing bothering you? Taiga's question upset me more than Nayuta. What is he doing asking that here? If Nayuta can respond yes in public like this... No, not at all. It's just that in that position you're blocking my view of Miss Spacey. Of course, I am watching the perimeter, but just in case, I ask you to not do anything that inhibits my view of her surroundings. Oh, that's it, huh? Yeah, I was a fool for getting my hopes up. Nayuta's extremely serious and professional response made Taiga and I both slump over in exasperation. Date result? Failure! You know what? We can do Shion's too. We're almost at time, but like, book it. We'll go a few minutes over and do Shion's date too. Get them all done. Shion's date. On our date, Shion treats Nayuta like he's a servant, but he has a reason for it. I decided to go on a date with each candidate to choose a groom. A few days had passed since I made my desperate declaration. Oh, this bracelet would look really good on you. The colors are perfect, too. If we're going to get this, then it might go well with that skirt on display at the store next door. Yeah, that's good. Let's buy all of them. What? Shion? Ever since we started shopping, Shion had been buying items left and right, saying they would suit me. I was completely bewildered, and when I tried to talk to him... Nayuta, take care of the bill, will you? Here's the card. Yes, sir. I could only watch in silence as Nayuta headed for the cash register. When he came back, he was holding a big package in both hands. But his hands are already full from all the shopping earlier. Shion spoke to me cheerfully, paying no attention to my frowning. Oh, that's right. I think you'll like the cushions from that store over there. Nayuta, we'll wait here near the entrance. Can you go buy them for us? Yes, sir. Please stay where you are. Nayuta went to the store, unbothered by the heavy bags. We waited in a spot where he could see us from inside as he checked out at the register. Shion, don't you think you're going a little overboard? You're treating Nayuta like a servant. Yes, he's a bodyguard, you know. But Nayuta never complains about it, so it's not a problem, right? Even so, it seems a little harsh. But who's the real harsh one here? What? Just to double check, did you say this was our date, Spacey? And yet, you've been concerned about Nayuta this whole time. He was absolutely right. The entire time we'd been shopping, I'd focused only on Nayuta, not Shion. I'm definitely being insincere. Yet Shion had gone along with my selfishness. I was getting tired of being inconsistent with everyone. I'm sorry, Shion. You don't need to apologize and say you'll be more attentive or something. It's fine since you're with me, but... You're peculiar. Oh. Your peculiar, tough girl act could hurt someone. You should keep that in mind. I couldn't argue with what he said. My indecisiveness was disrespectful to Shion, whom I chose to spend time with today, and also to Nayuta. That's exactly what he was implying. I know that's the case. So what should I do? Sorry to keep you waiting. Is something wrong? You look rather pale. It's nothing. She's just being a little bashful. She's not used to someone whispering sweet nothings in her ear. Isn't she adorable? What's wrong? Is something on your mind? No, not really. I was just thinking I should take these bags to the car before we go to the next store. Yeah, you're right. Shion sighed with boredom at what Nayuta said. In the end, per Shion's suggestion, we ended the date early and headed home. Date result? Failure! We're so bad! And whispering sweet nothings in her ear. Does that bother you? What? I was thinking this box is heavy. We have a whisk message! Ooh, I'm gonna guess we do that. Yes. Alright, let's read that. I was harsh with you earlier, and for that I'm sorry. I want to do something to help Nayuta too, but the way things are going, I can't help but think this isn't the best for you either. You had a point, though. I feel really guilty now. I'm sorry. And don't worry about it. If you've learned your lesson, that's enough. But, Spacey, your feelings are the most important thing here. You mustn't try to avoid them. My feelings? Yes. Especially given who you're dealing with. He likely won't notice. If you pretend not to notice either, then you're stuck in neutral. Oh, keep that in mind. My apologies. I overstepped my bounds again, didn't I? Good night. Pleasant dreams. Good night, and thanks. Yeah, because, I mean, he's not like, he's never gonna notice. Like, he's too stupid. Death by cinema. Okay. Oh! We go watch that movie. Oh! Alright, yeah, that's probably our next. That's the only option we have. So, we will do that next time. So, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.